If war breaks out right here on American soil, 95% of the guns in our safes will be useless inside of 72 hours. Too many owners have bought firearms that impress at the range but fall apart when it truly matters. Only 9 firearms can keep an American family alive, fed, and defended when the worst day finally comes. The man who built this loadout has covered every platform, every ammunition scenario, every threat environment, and every family member who has to pick up a rifle for the first time under pressure. Let's get started. Ruger Mini 14 5.56 NATO. The Ruger Mini 14 is the most underrated semi-automatic rifle in America, and that's exactly why it belongs on this list. It fires 5.56 by 45mm NATO, the same round as every M4 and M16 in the U.S. military, but it does so through a Garand-style short-stroke fixed piston gas system that's one of the most reliable action designs ever put into a rifle. No direct impingement, no carbon fouling blowing back into the action. It runs dirty, it runs wet, it runs neglected. Here's what separates it from everything else in the 5.56 world. It doesn't look like a weapon of war. In a scenario where you're moving through uncertain territory, blending in matters. A Mini 14 with a wood stock reads as a ranch rifle. Nobody panics, nobody escalates. That low profile could be the most valuable feature this rifle has. It also accepts standard 20 and 30 round magazines and runs flawlessly with 5.56 ammo from any source. Made in America, built like a tank, and priced below what most people spend on an AR build, the Mini 14 is the sleeper of this entire list. Sleep on it at your own risk. Marlin 336 30-30 Winchester. Dismissing the lever-action rifle in a wartime collapse scenario is one of the most expensive mistakes you can make. The 30-30 Winchester has been killing deer and stopping threats since 1895. Over 130 years of production means ammunition exists in places that would shock you. General stores, farm co-ops, rural hardware shops. When every shelf in every sporting goods store has been stripped clean, some old-timer's barn or hardware store back room will still have 30-30 on the shelf. That's not a guess, that's American history. The Marlin 336 and the Henry lever actions are mechanically simple, lightning fast in practiced hands, and virtually immune to the kind of neglect that breaks modern semi-automatic rifles. No magazine to lose, no complex gas system to fail, no batteries, no electronics. In timber country, in dense suburban environments, in any scenario where close-range accuracy and absolute mechanical reliability matter more than magazine capacity, the 30-30 lever action is the rifle that'll still be running when high-tech guns are paperweights. Don't underestimate what your grandfather trusted with his life. Springfield Armory SOCOM 16 308 Winchester. This one's a legend, and it belongs on every serious prepper's list. The M14 rifle won the Cold War, and the Springfield M1A SOCOM 16 takes that legendary battle-proven platform and shrinks it down to the most compact, hard-hitting semi-automatic rifle that 308 Winchester has ever been chambered in. 16 1/4 inches of barrel, a proprietary muzzle brake that tames recoil down to something manageable, a tritium insert front sight for low-light target acquisition, and the legendary M14 action, direct descendant of the M1 Garand, which General Patton called the greatest battle implement ever devised. Marine Corps Scout snipers have trusted this platform at distance for decades. Special operations units chose it because the 7.62 by 51mm cartridge solves problems that 5.56 cannot. At urban distances, at barrier blind shots, against threats wearing soft body armor, the M1A SOCOM 16 delivers solutions with authority. It's not a cheap rifle, but there's a reason it's never left service. You're not buying a sporting rifle, you're buying the closest thing a civilian can legally own to a military-grade designated marksman rifle in a compact package. When the problem's 300 yards away and walls are involved, this is your answer. IWI Tavor X95. Israel does not play games with firearms. The Tavor X95 is the standard issue rifle of the Israeli infantry. It's a bullpup, which means the entire barrel length sits in a package that's nearly 10 inches shorter than a conventional rifle with the same barrel. Full-length ballistics, carbine-sized package, no NFA paperwork required. The X95 runs on a long-stroke gas piston system that's absolutely filth-tolerant. It accepts standard STANAG magazines, it's fully ambidextrous, and can be configured for left-handed shooters in minutes. The charging handle operates without breaking your firing grip, and it fires 5.56 by 45mm NATO, so your ammunition is NATO standard and universally available. In close quarters urban combat, which is what World War III on American soil would look like in most scenarios, the X95's shorter overall length is not a gimmick. It's a decisive tactical advantage. Clearing rooms, moving through vehicles, navigating hallways, shorter wins. Other than that, the Tavor X95 is one of the best designed, most battle-hardened rifles you can legally own in America. Kel-Tec RFB. Okay, here's one most people haven't thought about. The Kel-Tec RFB is a bullpup rifle chambered in .308. Bullpup means the action sits behind the trigger, so you get a full-length barrel crammed into a much shorter overall package. The RFB measures just 26 inches overall while running an 18-inch barrel. Compare that to a standard .308 semi-auto that might be 40-plus inches long. In a bug-out scenario, in a vehicle, in a building, that compactness is a serious tactical advantage. The RFB also has a completely unique forward ejecting system. Brass ejects forward out of a chute rather than flying sideways. That makes it genuinely ambidextrous. Left-handed shooters can run it without any modification, which is rare in the .308 world. It's not the most polished gun on this list. Kel-Tec has a reputation for hit or miss quality control, but when it runs well. If you want hard-hitting .308 power in the most compact package possible, the RFB is worth serious consideration. FN SCAR 17S. Alright, now we're getting into premium territory. The FN SCAR 17S is what Special Operations Forces around the world actually use. That's not marketing, that's a fact. FN SCAR's platform was purpose-built for the U.S. Special Operations Command. The 17S is the civilian semi-auto version chambered in .762 NATO. Short-stroke gas piston system, folding stock, fully ambidextrous controls, and an adjustable cheek rest. Everything about this rifle was designed to perform under the worst conditions imaginable. It's lighter than most .308 semi-autos. It runs cleaner than a direct impingement system because the gas piston keeps fouling away from the bolt. And the SCAR's accuracy is genuinely impressive for a battle rifle. Consistent, tight groups at distance, even after thousands of rounds. Yes, it costs over $3,000, but you get what you pay for. If budget isn't your first concern and you want the absolute gold standard in a semi-auto .308 battle rifle, the SCAR 17S is the answer. The SCAR 17S is the last rifle in this loadout you acquire and the first one you reach for when the situation's serious. Beretta CX4 Storm 9mm. Stay with me here, because most gun owners will look at this and think it doesn't belong on a war list. Those gun owners have never had to explain their firearms to a hostile audience. The Beretta CX4 Storm is a 9mm semi-automatic carbine with a 16-inch barrel, a sporting rifle profile, and a design that registers to every untrained eye as a hunting gun. It accepts Beretta 92 series pistol magazines. If anyone in your household carries a Beretta 92 FS, which the United States military issued as its standard sidearm for over 35 years, you have a matched system with global magazine availability. Inside 100 yards, it's accurate, controllable, and almost recoilless. A 65-year-old with arthritis can run it. A teenager with 2 hours of training can run it. And when the conversation turns to what weapons your household contains, the CX4 looks like a sporting rifle because that's exactly what it is. New price is around $700. The strategic value of this rifle is not its terminal performance, it's its political and social invisibility combined with dead simple operation for untrained family members. Never underestimate the value of a weapon that doesn't cause panic in the people around you. M1 Garand 30-06 Springfield. General George Patton called it the greatest battle implement ever devised. Patton was not a man given to sentiment or exaggeration. He meant it as a battlefield assessment, and 60 years of subsequent history has not produced a credible argument against him. The M1 Garand served as the standard American service rifle from 1936 to 1957. It equipped every soldier across 2 theaters of World War II. Over 6 million were manufactured by American arsenals. The M1 Garand is steel and walnut. Every component can be identified, measured, and replaced by a competent machinist using general-purpose tools. In a true long-term grid-down scenario, a world where imported parts, polymer components, and precision CNC machining are no longer accessible, the M1 Garand is the rifle a community can maintain indefinitely. No other rifle on this list can make that claim. The .30-06 Springfield cartridge was the American military standard for 50 years. It's loaded by every major American ammunition manufacturer. It'll be on American shelves long after every boutique caliber on this list has disappeared. The cartridge itself generates over 2,900 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. It defeats more intermediate cover than any 5.56 or 7.62 by 39 round. It's effective on man-sized targets past 500 yards with iron sights. The 8-round en-bloc clip system's unconventional. Trained shooters reload in under 3 seconds. The mechanical simplicity is not a limitation, it's the entire point. Simple mechanisms fail less. Simple mechanisms get repaired faster. Simple mechanisms work in the hands of people who've never trained on them when the situation does not allow for training time. A civilian marksmanship program M1 Garand runs $650 to $900 depending on condition grade. You're buying a rifle built to exacting military specification by American government arsenals. A rifle that's been function tested in more real-world conditions than any firearm produced in the last 70 years. And a rifle that keeps functioning in a world where the supply chain feeding every other gun on this list no longer exists. AR-15 5.56 NATO. I know you saw this one coming, but hear me out, because the reason it's number one isn't what most people think. Yes, the AR-15 is accurate. Yes, it's reliable. Yes, it's effective at 500 yards. All of that's true. But the real reason the AR-15 is the number one survival rifle in America is parts and ammo and people who know how to fix it. There are well over 20 million AR-15s in this country. That means when things go sideways, 5.56 NATO ammunition is going to be the most commonly scavenged round on the planet. Parts, bolts, buffers, springs, triggers will be findable when nothing else is. And the guy down the road, there's a decent chance he can help you diagnose a problem. No other rifle on this list has that kind of support network built into American society. On top of that, the AR-15 is genuinely excellent. Direct impingement or piston, it runs reliably with basic maintenance. It's accurate, it's lightweight, it's low recoil, which means faster follow-up shots and shooters of all sizes can handle it effectively. For home defense, bugging out, hunting coyotes, or holding a perimeter, the AR-15 does it all. It's the American survival rifle.